Hi guys, my name is Alex Howard with Advantage Counseling Services, and I'd love to just take a few minutes to tell you about the brain and how it can help you in your relationships with your spouse, with your kids, and just with your general family and friends. So we're going to talk about the three main structures of the brain. So if you hold your hand like this is kind of an easy model to explain these three different structures. So the first structure is represented by the wrist. This is your spinal cord going into your brain stem, which is represented as the bottom part of your palm, and this your thumb in this middle area represented the limbic region. So your brain stem and your limbic region. So these regions of the brain are the emotion centers of the brain. So where you experience and process emotion. It's where you have your fight, flight, and freeze response. Just generally, just a lot of the emotional processing that's happening in your brain. And just kind of for layman's terms, I'd like to just label this as your feeling part of your brain. And then if you wrap your fingers over your hand, this is like the top part of our brain called the cortical region. So this cortical region is involved in reason and meaning making and those functions. But this third part I'd like to talk about is the prefrontal cortex. The prefrontal cortex is involved in morality. It's involved in regulating your body. It's involved in kind of thinking about different decisions you could make and choosing the one that might be best. So kind of flexible decision making. All of that is important for this in this part of your brain. And this part I'd like to just, again, easily just call this the thinking part of your brain. So this is important because the thinking part of your brain actually does help your emotional feeling part of your brain calm down. And this is important in situations where, we all might feel tired, or we all might feel hungry, or someone might push a certain emotional button in us. And so, for example, like it could be, someone pushes an emotional button of anger. And if that anger just keeps firing and firing and firing and getting bigger and bigger and bigger, we can eventually, what Dan Siegel calls, we can flip our lids. And we've all kind of had this experience where you feel out of control, you're saying things you don't mean, you're doing things you don't mean, just kind of in that state of just flipping your lid. You've lost all the functions of these part. And the good news is that we can all, after a certain amount of time, we can all eventually kind of get our bearings back, and we can go and make repairs with our loved ones. Say, hey, I lost it there. This was what was coming up for me. It could be, will you forgive me, or can you get some understanding, or talk to me about this? So that's the good news. But so I just also would just like to just leave us with just a couple ways that you can help. If you do feel like you're flipping your lid, how to bring it back. And one way is by taking a deep breath. It could be just taking a moment, or just taking a break, just to say, hey, I just need a break. I feel myself again starting to flip my lid. Let me just take a time out. And if you can, name the emotion you feel like you're experiencing. So it could be anxiety, it could be anger, or whatever. Just naming that emotion can tame it. I think that's a helpful saying, is just name it to tame it. Can kind of bring you back online, help you kind of get your morality, get your flexibility back, and then be able to conduct yourself in a way that won't be frightening or push others away. So hopefully that's just a little helpful video for you. Feel free to tell your spouse or tell your children. You can teach anyone about that, and just hopefully that helps you relate to others better today, better this week. So feel free to like and subscribe. I'm going to be putting a lot of just different videos out there that can be helpful for you in your life and your relationships. Thanks for taking some time to listen.